Right. So right now I'm working with Aditya Villa Group, looking into W and Aurelia performance marketing part, and it's been, I mean, for more than 4 weeks I'm working with Vishnu Customer Labs, and I believe now the how we look at the data audience segments are totally different that we used to do earlier. So that's something which even we as a brands also learning and growing and using them to make sure that we grow with that particular cohorts and all. So good tool to work with.
Thank you. Krish, quick intro.
Hi, I think we have been working with Vishnu for last 4 months, and definitely it's a great opportunity to change the marketing here. And I had the business in assembly travel, T2C business, and they're just optimizing the data and feeding the data, like as Vishnu said, in a way where we're letting Facebook understand our audience better.
Shubro.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Shubro. I'm co-founder of Right2 Digital. Been with Vishnu for quite some time, and we have done a lot of experiments together. Some of them work, some of them failed, and it's really interesting how you can actually play with data. And yeah, I think so. Can't stress enough. And I think this whole session will be we'll go after Mark for sure.
We should, man. Deepan, how to you?
Hi everyone, Deepan Siddhu, Director of Growth Marketing at SaaS Labs, engineer turned marketer, and I've been in the SaaS marketing since almost about 3-4 years now. Been on the agency side, lead gen, e-com, and now SaaS and revenue. Thanks for having me here, and it's so good to see as many marketers under one roof. I didn't know Delhi scene is this hot, so thanks for making it here.
The brand, Mr. Bhanu.
Hi, my name is Bhanu. I am a co-founder for Beyond Ads. Been living, breathing Meta Ads since the last decade. It's been about 10 years I started running Meta Ads. I know Vishnu through Krish. That's how we first started our interaction for customer labs. It's very intriguing, somebody who is doing something a bit groundbreaking. I'm very excited. Whenever I don't even want to do small talks with Vishnu. I'll be like, hey, okay, we met. Okay, we get started, and we just are like, okay, I'm struggling here. You need to help. It's really what we are. Through the session, we'll go through what we are doing with customer labs and first party data primarily. There is a lot of opportunity across marketing that we can change, where all of us are struggling for that ROS. While this will not drastically move you from a X to 10x, but at least a X to a 3x is definitely possible, and that's what we have been seeing. So yeah, happy to be a part of this year.
Thanks, Bhanu. Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for coming here. I know you had to get permissions from your bosses, but I really appreciate every one of you here. Thank you very much. Okay, let's start. Okay, who wants to be honest and tell one thing? Okay, for Rahul, let's be real, man. What is your ideal expectations from agency? How many of you guys are agencies here in the crowd? Oh, that's a lot of people. Okay, great. So let's give them some feeders. So when Rahul goes to a meeting with the agency, what happens?
To start with, see, we always have to make sure that we be transparent, and if you're coming to pitch to us now, always make sure that you are doing some kind of a R&D. What is the brand is, or what is our vision? What we stands for? Right. These are the sometimes when we go for some pitch and all, we see that people are just coming and throwing anything. Plus, many times we just want to make sure that what you are bringing on the table. For example, someone like us, if we are doing 6 or 7 ROAS, right? Then why I should go for an agency, right? Because for me, it's an additional cost. Unless or until there is a different insights. This is the only one thing which is going to push me to make sure that we are getting that particular agency.
So that's really crucial for us. Be transparent, show us case studies, what freshness, what work you have done, and if I'm at X, what your vision to make sure that I reach out to Z. That's something which we basically look into the agency part.
Great. Krish, from the brand side,
Yeah, from the brand's point of view, ideally we just want to ensure that the agency is not an agency or third party; they are the extended team, and we just definitely want to closely work with them. We look for data transparency and data-driven approach, and generally we expect the team to be expertise in their platforms and in their areas. And definitely, yes, they should be agile and they should be responsive with us. And I think whenever we work with the agency, we just see them as other hand who help us to grow, and that's how we have been working with a lot of agencies in the past as well. It's been a great journey. So generally, I feel when they are coming for a pitch, exactly what I will mention, like they have to be very specific about the brand and what is the vision of the brand. They have to understand it and accordingly place the strategies. So I think that is one key thing which a lot of agencies doesn't do right now.
makes sense. I'll go with Deepan. Deepan, from the brand side,
You work with agencies. If you have worked with agencies, what's happening on the lead generation side?
because the funnel understanding, the messaging is important more than setting up the campaigns, and the positioning is important. How do you see that happening, and how do you transfer the knowledge to the agencies, and what would be the expectations from them?
One thing that we've stopped working with do-it-all agencies, right? What they've realized is the agencies that claims that they can do it all, they don't do anything well. And that's been my personal experience. I'm not making a general statement, right? So we really appreciate agencies who bring depth of expertise on a very specific thing, right? The intent matters a lot. Do you really want to work with me as a brand? Have you done some homework in terms of having a deeper understanding of my category? Have you spoken to some of my potential customers? Have you looked up my competitors? When you come to the table, I think we look for something that is very specific in nature for us and not necessarily what the agencies have to offer in terms of services, right? So we started working with agencies who really have deep expertise in one thing, right? For example, within performance marketing, do you really know Google Ads well? Do you know first-party data well? Can you do landing pages well? Can you write really good conversion copy, right? So those are the very specific areas that we have started to work with agencies on. And typically when agencies come and pitch, generally what we have built in brands over a period of time is BS meter, right? So typically when we hear pitches and stuff like that, tall claims and not delivering, that has been the main problem, right? So the first 3 months of that agency brand relationship is absolutely crucial. It's important for agencies to identify very quick wins that you can deliver for the brand so that the brand can build trust on that agency, and then the relationship goes on from there. So the models that I have seen work these days, I work with a lot of agencies in the US. So they come with a very specific project that they can execute for you in 3 months. And they show you that win, and then we get into a longer term relationship. This way, I don't have any problem working with an agency, right? You bring in expertise, you're signing up for something for the 3 months. You're not asking me to commit to a 12-month retainer. And you're open to delivering results, and then we are open to have a conversation. So that has been my relationship with agencies.
Great. Let's rant. Bhanu. No, so I'll ask you one question. Okay. So let's say you onboard a brand, right? You want to execute end to end, or you want to just control one lever. I'll tell you why. Because creatives will be given by XYZ. The positioning will be done by someone else. All we are doing is take that, put it in a campaign, switch on. Okay. Okay, who takes the accountability here, and how does it work, and how do you think we should manage this?
One thing just to add from a agency to a brand, let's say as an agency, when I pitch to a brand, the first thing I believe, at least for the last 3 years, that's working for me, especially, is empathy. Like, anybody who is coming to you is a business client, because other than a very starting new brand, everybody jumps from agency to agency. So if you're first just empathizing, okay, what are your pain points? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll solve for that. Because at least today, there is a situation in the market where half of the founders know what meta ads are. Like, in order to like tell, okay, this is my awareness, this is my top, middle, bottom. So, it's they are able to speak your language. Now, what they really want is, once somebody really cares about my business as much as I do, that makes a lot of a difference. That's first thing. Other than that, a lot of again, like agreeing with Deepan, where if you should do everything right. Like if you're like doing your influencer marketing, creatives, this, that, if you're clubbing together yourself as a package, you will lose on quality. I believe if you are an expert in one particular thing, even the smallest, let's say if you know retention, WhatsApp very well, just offer that particular service and they'll take responsibility or accountability for everything. What happens that way is, like how they say, like smaller bricks build a larger wall. All individual expertise and individual focus on smaller blocks is the larger pathway, and that's again has been a very big game changer for me. Like, we only do offer 3 services, Meta, Google and Amazon, and we don't even try to touch or even are thinking to add any more services, at least in the near future. What that has helped us or given us a pathway is, hey, you are going to give me the creative, you are going to work on influencer, this is what we need. We control everything, but we just are at the execution end, which is giving us a lot of leverage. And more than anything, as much as the founder is responsible, we take that responsibility in terms of accountability, right? Like, you get me all of these things, I'm the sole person who is responsible for getting your ROI. So, I mean, accountability, I would say agency should definitely take, because when you take the accountability, the founder is, sort of ready to run miles and get everything that you want. All they want is like one person leading it, and they don't want to be that person. At least that's my sort of thought process, because they have 100 different things to do, and marketing is one piece. Like today in India in general, if you see about 70 to 80% of the agent marketing business is still outsourced, right? So they don't want to be as involved, but if you are one person who's solely taking accountability, they will help you attach everything together. So I mean, just to simplify, I think accountability should definitely be at the agency level to deliver results, given the founder is, or the brand is giving you everything that was required.
Absolutely, man. I think, I mean, that's what a consultant does, right? So you have been hired to train someone. So that's what you bring in. You bring in the knowledge, expertise of 5, 6, 10, 20, 50, 100 brands we all work with. And try to tell them, okay, this is what you should do. This is the lever you should pull. And this is how you should tame the horse. That's the reason why we have it. It's really great. And creative freedom, Shubro. What do you think? Or maybe I just put this apart. Okay, so how should we align the creatives with them? Okay, so if someone comes with a very set mindset, look, this is what my plan is, this is what I want. And from the creative angle, how do you think we should align the brand saying, look, I agree with you, this is what you want, but this is not going to work.
So you need the ad creators per se.
Creative, ad creatives, even the positioning, which are the way we want to pull the cost.
What I personally feel, so that everything is actually backed by data. Even if a creative campaign is being done by a brand which is not being run on performance, it still comes from an insight. The only difference here is that insight might be qualitative or quantitative. So it has to be backed by data. And if you can make sense of data, I think so you'll get that creative freedom. The problem happens where, like people mentioned, that when you start making false promises and when you're not able to deliver or back it up. And I agree with both of them. So creative freedom, I think so agencies need to convince the clients, and if it is properly researched, backed by data, irrespective if it's a performance campaign or a generic social media campaign per se, if it's backed by data, I don't see a problem. Like, you cannot convince the client. So yeah, they're not that harsh to you.
I always want honest answers, man.
Yeah, but I feel I'll just add one more part to it. Yeah, I think so. We all are aware about the fact that how things are changing rapidly. Things that were working in the past are not working as of now. So we all need to be more open about doing experimentations. If we don't do experimentations, we will not be able to figure out a way to help the brand. And agencies can only do experimentations with the brands. So that's where probably the synergy needs to happen for sure.
So now you said we all spoke about the data, the kind of things. Rahul, what kind of reports you generally go through every single day? Like for example, measurements, right? So today morning you wake up, I'm sure even before you hit the bathroom, you start logging into Facebook ads to look at yesterday's ROAS. What kind of reports you look into every single day? And the ACAS guy, this is the ACAS guy. He's the one who taught me ACAS.
See, that's the DNA now. So, but see, I believe everyone is know about the basic funnel metrics, what to look, what not look for. But see, the challenge is specifically in the reporting, it's about the activity. What channel, what touch point, from where the customer is coming. Because for a brand, for me, there are multiple touch points or multiple agencies which is working for me. There could be someone who's affiliate, there could be someone who's looking after my Facebook only, there could be someone who's looking after my Google only. And at the end, everyone is saying, "Yeah, I'm the one who is giving you this sale, this sale, this sale," and but in the back end there is only one sale. So at the certain times, it's really difficult us to justify exactly what contributing to the sales part. But now, I mean, that you also help us a lot with creating multiple dashboards. Still, we are not there, to be very frank. But at least now we have a multiple views which give us a directional sense. Exactly in directional sense, this is a particular platform in which we need to bet or invest more, and that's something which is very good. So I don't want to talk into the funnel part because everyone knows but the pain point is attribution for me.
Chris, I have a very different question because I see where you operate. How do you set your quarter? How do you set your half yearly? Do you guys work on quarterly level or half yearly level? Because end of the day, it almost sounds like stock trading, especially when it comes to D2C. Okay, I want X money, I want 10 lakhs, I want 15 lakhs, I want 20 lakhs per day, right? That's how we always have been thinking. That's how we always have been speaking. It's entirely different from for the SAT or lead generation because the sales cycle is long. You cannot set at that level, right? In this case, how do you plan a quarter? And when you talk to an agency, what do you tell them? You talk about single day I want X, or you talk about this quarter we want to achieve this. How does the actual metrics works inside the four walls?
Good question, actually. So, what we usually discuss with agencies or the team internally as well as what we're looking for a quarter, because especially in our category, it has seasonality, and definitely it has an impact in each quarter. So, what we look for is what we're looking for the end of this quarter. Is it like X plus this much increase in revenue, or are we saying that we'll be stabilizing the campaigns for and optimize for profits? So we get a clear roadmap for that. And when we discuss with the agency, we say, okay, this is what we are expecting for this quarter. So, and also usually whenever there is any offers, any sale plans, we just discuss with them a month ahead and we plan it accordingly, where creatives are planned in such a way that it's throughout the timelines. And so basically seasonality affects our category a lot. And definitely O&Ds are big quarters, so we usually gear up a lot in October, November, December, and definitely March, April, May, again people used to travel a lot. So again, that is a big month for us. So since we have seasonality, we used to look into a quarterly basis and drive the revenue for the whole year.
From the agency side, how do you expect this to deliver to you? How do you understand it? How do you grasp it? And what kind of reports you guys create to make sure you understand brands? Because we definitely have to work with 4-5 brands, and everybody has a different goal. Everybody says they look at their business in a very different way, right? So in this case, how do you process this? Whatever Rahul has said, whatever Krish has said, how do you guys process this? How do you make the map so that for the new brands or new agencies, people, freelancers, they would be able to understand how to get this done at a scale, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brands. Where you want to start?
So can't agree more with Rahul. Attribution is a very big issue. And I remember the day when Vishnu and I were talking, and it was a realization for us that even click-through attribution
It's not click-through attribution.
is not click-through attribution, because till date, like till the time I read that paper, I was under the impression that if somebody has actually clicked on shop now, that's when Meta is attributing click to attribution. But no, even if I've clicked on the image and I've converted, that's a click to attribution. And it was, so if that's the case, so one of the ways we are actually controlling it is making the system as lean as possible. Only running parallel campaigns. I think Vishnu did talk about it during his keynote, that running 35-40 parallel campaigns, we need to ensure even if we are running parallel campaigns, the cannibalization is as less as possible. And also to an extent, force Meta to run on click-through attribution and definitely remove view-through attribution. So going deeper into the data and actually trying to find out where the problem is happening. And that's one way we are actually controlling this attribution issue. And of course, using first-party data to get the reporting in place so that we can understand where the customers are coming inside the funnel and what's the last touch point, so that we can accordingly increase the campaign budgets.
Bhanu?
Double clicking on the planning piece, right? Definitely it's quarterly. And I'm like MOM growth and 10% month on month. I'm like, sorry, I'm out of business. I'm okay being out of business, but your business will go out of, trend if you're doing MOM growth. I think there are 2 to 3 key events when are you planning your sale. If today, like if you see the trend, everybody is on a monthly sale, back-to-back sales. It's not the trend that we are currently trying to set up. We take a few hard calls. You got to launch. If you have new products where you can launch, what are those new products that you're launching in that particular quarter? What are your top level, micro, macro level influencer collaborations that you're doing? What's new to the brand? What's old to the brand? What should we continue? What should we pause? So we just look at very clear evaluations on what we tried to do last month, last quarter. What worked? What did not work? Where should you double down on? That's the approach that we are trying to do. There, like how Krish mentioned in terms of seasonality, in a lot of there are quite a bit of seasonal brands today, like be it in fashion and all of it, like your winters and all are really hard if you're not like really able to have a collection which works through. For example, in cases like that, you kind of have to have that prediction, okay, this quarter is going to be slow, so you need to make them prepared for the same. For a few brands, we do double quarter planning. For example, you are already planned for the next 2 quarters, and you just have a checkpoint in between the third and the fourth month, just trying to understand, are we on track or are we not on track? Should we pivot anywhere in between? I think that's the larger pathway which will help, because a lot of new tools reporting, like how we spoke about attribution, like today we have a theory that, okay, we have a quarterly sale coming in, we will discount these products at such maximum prices that we can go to start building your funnel for it. Like get your data out, get your frequency built out for that particular product, and that's how you then will be able to maximize your sales. So events are the key most important things, I believe, at a quarter level, and that's what is kind of at least 80-20 rule applies that you're 80% successful and there is a minimum of a 10 to 15% growth when you're following this number.
Great. So now we have an entire contrasting view, right? So these are stock traders, and then we have a business guy who takes up a phone and ends the sales closes at after 90 days. JustCall. Attribution never exists in B2B, guys. You can't do any attribution inside the platform, right? So now, tell me, Deepan. So, two questions, right? So one, how do you plan? And you are not expecting next day results. Now, how are you going to measure it? Because this becomes really interesting right now.
Yeah. So at least our reporting infrastructure is quite strong. In a way, we spent the entire previous year into building a strong reporting infrastructure. At the top, it's your revenue. You have a revenue target, annual revenue target, and how you are pacing against that annual revenue target, right? Then there are multiple input metrics that contribute to that annual revenue target, right? We have, as a SaaS company, we have both PLG and SLG, product contributed revenue and sales contributed revenue. Then for each of these revenue engines, there are different channels that contribute, which is marketing, sales, and partnerships. and you further break down marketing into different channels, be it paid search, organic search, social, affiliates, and all of that, right? My team usually makes a joke about this. My mood is directly linked to the dashboards. Right? So I wake up in the morning, and if I'm happy, they know that the dashboard is looking good. If I'm unhappy, the dashboards are not looking good. But it makes a whole lot of difference to have all of your data in a single place, right? We have struggled a lot in terms of looking at individual channel dashboards. Google reports a number, Facebook reports a number, LinkedIn has its own, and especially if you're in a B2B environment, sales cycles are longer. For you to realize the value of the dollar, let's say you're spending money today, and for you to realize that value of return, it's going to be a couple of months, right? So what is important, what we've realized is to look at the input metrics, like the way I had broke down, which is revenue, which channels are contributing to revenue. Each channel has its own metric in terms of lead cost, CPL, volume of leads coming from different regions, right? And we use a BI tool called Tableau, which brings together data from all the places into one window, and that's really, really helpful. It's relatively easy to solve attribution in B2B, unlike all my friends here. You just have to convince people internally that what is attribution. You don't really have to get really complicated about
That's the entire fight.
yeah. So after experimenting a lot with custom attribution models, last touch, last click, non-direct, and stuff like that, we finally settled on good old first touch attribution. Okay, and that works the best. The channel that brings in a potential prospect has to always carry a higher weightage, because if that channel did not bring that prospect in first place, and if your web pages did not make a good impression, that customer is never coming back, very likely, right? So we that method works for all of us. It holds us, each of the teams, accountable, and it's relatively easy compared to my B2C folks sitting here in the table.
No, I mean, I totally agree. So B2B is an entirely different ballgame. So a contradictory way of working. So we work with both lead generation, we work with for D2C. D2C don't give a shit about the brand, where the brand is being created. They always care about where I get my money, right? Whereas if you look at B2B, you cannot say that. Okay, if you start saying that, the marketing will kill sales, the sales will kill marketing, guys, right? They'll never be friendly. Like our team. Now we don't have sales and marketing team in customer labs. We call it as new revenue team. Okay, so you are all one team. Seek yourself. Okay, don't kill each other. You are all one team. Okay, whoever gets it, new revenue team gets the credit. Okay,
We still find new ways of
killing each other.
killing each other.
So B2B and lead generation is a different ball game, but B2C is. So shift one will go one level up. We're all in a great post, and we have few early marketers here. And what are you going to suggest to eventually be ready for the next 5 years? So how are you going to think their career? Do you think being a performance marketer is worth it? And do you want anybody of them to follow your path, especially for them? And look at the smiles here. Do you want them to follow your path, or do you say, okay, fine, take right, take left, be a chemistry professor? What is that you want us to do?
That's more difficult.
Okay, be honest, right? Because, everyone looks up to you guys. So tell them honestly, do you want them to take the stress, or do you want them to enjoy their life? Go ahead, whoever wants to go. Bhanu,
No,
be honest, man.
I'm already deep into this, so I can't get out of it. But it's definitely, for me, it's definitely worth pursuing this. My only two reasons is because, one, the kind of exposure that I get.
Only one thing, Bhanu. When you say all these things, just add one extra thing you want them to learn, like forever. Okay, one extra thing you think will make them separate from all the 10,000 people out there.
See, that just double clicking on the first one extra thing, it's different for everybody. For me, I feel empathy is my thing. Like I really resonate that. Okay, I don't know, I've been thinking about it for the last couple of years. I'm like, If somebody is in pain, they don't want a solution right away. Like everybody like, tell me a plan of action. We go and be like, why? If you're able to go confidently and tell to the clients, you do it. If you're not able to do it, tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not able to figure it out. But if you give me X amount of time, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to come back to you. And that works. I believe everybody's one extra step is different, but keep that unique to yourself. For me, it's definitely empathy. That's one thing I've been like going all out on with all my clients. That's one thing which is working out well. Now, sorry, I forgot the previous one that you spoke. You asked me.
Same. So, do they want? I mean, do
Yes.
they have to become performance marketers?
Pursuing performance marketer is 100% worth it. See, here, the industry I feel is very low. Like 5 years ago, there is a competition between agencies. Like, okay, you try to put the employees, the clients. Today, we are working together as a network. Like, I have like 5 partner agencies where I know this client, I can't do justice, but my peer agency can actually do so. We're starting to redirect clients that way. It is a very nascent industry where a lot of things are happening. Like the platforms are evolving. You need to act accordingly. So if you are always ready to learn, understand new things, and always open to experiment, I believe this is going to be the next big thing. Ogilvy is still here, but it's just now visual, right? Now today we are like everybody in the room is definitely contributing to the revenue that we are generating it. Like I'm sure everybody here is spending money and contributing to 3 or 4x of the money that you guys are spending today. So I feel that's a very longer contribution that we're doing together, and it's definitely worth it. It's stressful, it's hard. There is no personal time until you figure out all of these things. But is it worth it at the end of the day? That is a personal choice. For me, I think it's the best thing that I have ever done for myself, that I have chosen this career. You got to be smart. You got to, like, if you're learning at it every single day, it is the career that you would want to do rather than becoming a chemistry professor.
Deepan, your word.
I can't agree more. It's a great career choice.
Be honest, guys, please. Okay, they are looking up to you.
No, it is. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what, it is a great career option. We're going to be a first carry a reputation in the market. Right? That these guys are the guys who spend the money and in a way empty the wallet. Even that is the kind of reputation that they carry, let's be honest. Right? And this role has kept on evolving. I've been there in the industry for at least more than 10 years, right? We started off as digital marketers, then we became ad specialists, then it ended up with an performance marketing. Now it's called work marketing. It will be called revenue marketing in the future, right? But as long as you're accountable for revenue, you would be irreplaceable, right? You cannot be a performance marketer who drives vanity metric, right? Vanity metric is, okay, I've generated X amount of leads. That's vanity metric. I got as many visitors to my website. That's vanity metric, right? But if you're able to quantify that this is the exact dollar impact or rupee impact that I have on the business, you'll become irreplaceable, right? And that needs, just like what Bhanu said, and the quote that which was showing of Mark Zuckerberg, right? The ad channels are becoming automated. There is not a lot of work that we will be doing within the ad dashboards, right? But you can actually do a lot of work on the other side of things, be it creative and data and analytics, right? That's where I think this role is evolving. As long as you're keeping up with it, if you're somebody who's just like a relaxed job, no stress and stuff like that, then this is not the right career option. This is not the right career option. This is going to be constant stress, but this is also a career that will help you make a lot of money. And it is on us to change the reputation that we have today. That we are not only the money spenders, we actually contribute to the growth of the business, right? Next time when anybody says you're a spender, you are going to disagree with that person and shut them off, right? Especially on LinkedIn, do we have salespeople here? It's okay, just one person. Especially if sales talks against marketing. Agency sales is okay, right? I think as a community, we need to build our own reputation, and I would expect from each and every one of your performance marketers but it's a great career choice as long as you keep up with what is happening, right? AI is making big splashes. AI agent is becoming a next big thing. As long as you can keep up with it and you love revenue, you love the sound of revenue, you can have an absolutely amazing career even for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Thanks, Deepan. Shubro.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the things are already covered. So yeah, first thing first, we need to we need to get beyond Meta and Google dashboards. Don't just keep focusing and looking at the screen and expecting that things will improve for you. You need to look at the whole funnel. You need to bring logic into how this funnel is working, and wherever things are getting stuck, you need to solve it. If you have these three things and you can do it, go for it. Otherwise, as Vishnu said, chemistry is a better choice, I think. Yeah, three things.
I think one main thing, as Bhanu also highlighted, you should be keep on updating yourself to the new platforms, new updates which is happening in the industry. And I think I should agree with Siddhu here because it's beyond Google and Meta today. You'll have to focus on your how you're growing and what are the other channels, and that's really important to speak about. So definitely we should be very clear on how we are presenting ourselves in the adding value to the organization which we are working with, especially while bringing revenue. So definitely, if you're interested to pursue a long-term career in digital marketing, yes, definitely go for it. But you have to be ready to hustle 24/7. That's something which goes with it.
Rahul.
I have a couple of things I didn't know that you very well. So see, from outside it seems to be a very fancy performance marketing and all. Okay, or someone who's working on a Facebook outside of it and all. But in reality, things are a little bit different. Definitely there is a pressure, but ultimately, if you just compare it with other professions as well, the story is same. But for someone who just want to start and is little bit confused, and see, first please try to understand in what you're getting into. Okay, then see, align your goal whether it's matching your personal life or personal goals expectation or professional goals expectation, if it's meeting or not. Second, be someone who adapt very fast, because there are trends which comes and goes very quickly. For example, right now it's AI videos. Before that it was UGC contents. If the adaptability is there, then it's really good for you. And please make sure that you're building core specialty in one particular segment or one particular platform. Either it could be Facebook, it could be Google. Gradually you will be able to master all, but start with some one particular platform. And last, make sure you start having an understanding of PNL. That's really crucial, because see, to be very frank, this is something I have understanding in last couple of years. And trust me, if it looks like say a brand is doing good with a certain ROAS, but internally it's not. So that's the fair point.
So I'm very curious, what's it for you, Vishnu? Like that one extra thing.
No, I'll be very honest. Okay, I have been a marketer. My first campaign, I launched it in 2011. Me and Asim together, we launched it in 2011, and the kind of harshness we felt is you generated like 500, 600, 700 leads. You go to the client and you tell them, hey, can we look for the next year? The first thing he said is, all the leads you generated is junk, right? And he didn't give us that extra 5-6 lakhs, which the incentives which they're supposed to give, they did not. And that's what created customer labs in the background. So the customer labs, what he said is, I basically said, fuck you, give me your CRM data, let me cross compare that with all the leads we have generated. I'll show you how much revenue we have generated. Same thing, whatever we have been talking about, right? How much P&L we are going to contribute, and how much effectiveness we are going to do it. Whether you're in-house, whether you're outside, that's very important. Understand the business, right? That's what Rahul mentioned, that's what Prish mentioned, Hugo, Deepan, everyone mentioned. Understand the business. We spend money, but we don't spend money, we generate revenue, okay? Meta is not going to give you ROAS without spending money. ROAS is basically revenue divided by spend. So we have to spend, right? How well we're going to do it is the whole question. Now, what it is. I have been yesterday. I spent almost 5 hours in Google, and Google has came up with something called Chocolate AI. Okay, Chocolate AI. It's a tool which basically taken up the whole of data, the first party data, whatever we have been collecting. They came up with a one layer on top of it, how to use this data in a multiple ways. It's a combination of data, the first party data, Gen AI, and automation. Okay, so you are there. What Deepan said is exactly true. What Bhanu said is exactly true. You should have a lot of empathy and business mind in the background, and you should have an understanding of what is going to go behind the scenes, not in front of the scenes. Behind the scenes, what is going to do, which lever you need to pull, and how do you do it. Now, and Shubro also mentioned something, right? The work is going to happen not on Facebook, not on Google AdWords, but behind the scenes, right? And for the behind the scenes, you need a lot. I don't want to sell customer labs. That is not the core idea of this business, of the summit. I want to tell you there are deeper aspects in the business we have to go. Performance marketers, we don't just stick with Facebook and Google dashboards. We have to go deeper. To go deeper, whichever the tool you use even GA4. Please log into GA4. You go GA4, you go Looker Studio or Tableau, whichever the way you want. Go deeper and understand it. Okay, one step higher. Whatever we have been doing is not enough. We have to go one step higher. That one step higher, I strongly believe first party data will give that advantage. Okay, so for all the love, thank you very much. I know you have traveled. So all the speakers, all the panelists have traveled more than 10,000, 15,000 kilometers for us just to interact with you guys. And I really appreciate every single one of them being here. And like I said, my love towards marketers is always high because I have been a marketer. And I wanted to ask one question to Deepan before we close this. I know we are running out of time. I'm extremely sorry. Deepan, you guys are non-engineers, right? All of you. I know. That's why I'm coming. Okay. See, there is a difference between how we see the marketing and how others see the marketing, right? I have a very different perspective towards the marketing. I always think behind the scenes, like how does this guy would have created, right? How the algorithm actually works. What happens? That's what we think first than going and looking at the messaging. Messaging we learn over the time. Okay, fine. Whatever the algorithm is, unless we say the right thing, this guy not going to buy. Okay, unless we say the crazy stuff, this guy not going to look at the ads. But how do you think? How do you think as an engineer? Do you think as an engineer first and then marketer comes in? Or you think like a marketer first and then engineer comes in? How does that mind map works?
I think it's the former, right? First is to not pay attention to the best practice recommendation from any of these channels, right? Because their goal is to get you to spend more, be it with PMax, be it with Advantage Plus. If you look through the hood, what they expect you to do is they expect you to spend more, right? So before we pick up any Bible is for us to deeply understand how does that system work, right? And you will find documentation on Reddit, in terms of people decoding algorithms, some Slack communities where people really go in depth talking about, how a certain ad unit work and how to make it work, right? Then comes, my thought process is to work on, okay, this is how the system is built. Now, what do I layer on top of it? Is it going to be good messaging, good creative? Should I do this for very specific geography? You're right. It's first to understand how the system works and then find out, what is going to excite my audiences. Yeah.
No, that's exactly how I operate as well. I understand how that works, how the engineers, if I am the engineer in Google engineer as a Meta, how would I be building the system in the background? What kind of signals we want? Then we'll try and hack into the system like, okay, these are the signals what we provide. And that's how actually custom labs has been born. Okay, so
I'll tell a funny thing, right? Facebook dashboard, you say there's a campaign. The actual meaning of campaign is very different because it's engineers' terminology of campaign, right? Similarly, you have campaign objectives. And all of us think that, once you click on objective, it is going to, objective conversions is going to give you a lot of conversions. Have you ever questioned that why not the other objective, right? So this is what an engineer mindset works, and most of these dashboards are built by engineers, named by engineers. and you shouldn't fall for the user.
What they say.
And the best practice documentation, especially from Google reps and Meta reps are horrible, but Google reps at least are quite decent. But their goal is to get you to spend money.
You
And
get
you
a
will-
figure from Google here, man.
I know. Just it's a layer of
We love you.
caution. Yeah, I know. We love both of them. But it's this layer of caution, yeah. We still go into another rant session altogether.
Mark Baba. Nice. So thank you very much, guys. Once again, one final thing. I love each and every one of you here. You are my superheroes, and whatever the work we can do to help you day in, day out, we will do it. Okay. So all the win for you guys, and any help we can provide from our side, Custom Lab side, we're happy to do it.